Welcome to the hybrid and in-person and virtual meeting for the Committee of Adjustment for the Township of Central Frontenac. Just so everyone is aware, members of the public may join in person or virtually. For those of you who may be new to the Committee of Adjustment, my name is Susan Irwin, and I am chair of the committee. We also have, I believe, Francis Smith online, Dan Meeks, Bill Everett, Lynn Clegus, and Nikki is online. Thank you. Is it any other counselors online? Members of the Committee of Adjustment, not counselors. Okay. Chris Nelson, our Community Service Coordinator, will be assisting us as the meeting host. We are also joined by planning staff, Abby McKinnon and Jenny Kaputska. The format of the meeting will follow the agenda posted online. Staff have also prepared a presentation for everyone to follow along with during the meeting, and this will be shown on the screen. For each application with a public hearing, we will follow this format. I, as the chair, will introduce the file so that everyone knows where we are on the agenda. The planner, Jenny, will provide an overview of the application. We will then ask if there are any comments from the applicant or their agent. Committee members may then ask staff and the applicant or their agent questions, if any. The public then has an opportunity to ask questions. The committee will deliberate and vote on the application. Voting will take place with members of the committee raising their hands or verbal confirmation if attending online. I will then state whether the vote was carried. All members of the public will have an opportunity to provide comments on the new application. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at the meeting or make written submissions to the Township of Central Frontenac before a decision is made, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision. Please note that as of January 1st, 2023, only persons specified in the Act are permitted to appeal consent and minor variance applications. Township staff will be in touch following the meeting and will be forwarding a copy of the decision within 15 days to the applicant and anyone else who has requested to be notified. Should you have any questions after the meeting, we encourage you to reach out to staff. The applicant, the minister, or any prescribed public body who has an interest in the matter may, within 20 days of making the decision or date of notice of appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal against the decision of the committee, by filing with the Secretary-Treasurer of the committee a notice of appeal. I'll now ask Chris Nelson to provide an overview of how members attending virtually can participate.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Once the meeting is open to the public, the chair will ask if anyone has any questions or comments. Members of the public attending virtually will be asked to use the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen. This alerts us that you would like to speak. Staff will then notify the chair that someone would like to speak and then proceed to unmute your microphone. You will receive a notification that your microphone has been unmuted. Please wait a second after unmuting your microphone before speaking. If you're calling in by phone, please dial *9 when you would like to raise your hand during the meeting. You will hear a prompt on the phone that you have raised your hand, and you will be notified when your microphone has been unmuted. This afternoon, it looks as though we have 2 members of the public participating with us online and 0 in person.
Thank you, Chris. In the unlikely account that we have connection issues like we did at the last meeting, and the meeting cannot be restored within 15 minutes, the meeting will be postponed and staff will be in touch with each applicant. A notice will also be posted on the township social media to let you know. So the first item is to approve the agenda. Do I have a mover? I do. I have Lynn Clegus. Thank you. And that's seconded by Danny Meeks, that the agenda be adopted as presented. All those in favor? And it is carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Nothing online? Okay, seeing none. We'll note that in the minutes. Next item is the approval of the minutes of July 2024, which have been circulated to the members. And I have a motion moved by Lynn Clegus and seconded by Danny Meeks that the minutes of July 11th, 2024 be adopted as, are there any amendments?
No, there is not.
As presented. All in favor? Carried. So we have the one deferred item, Mr. Duncan, and thank you for your patience, Mr. Duncan, in determining this matter. It is application number 2024-015. And I'm going to hand this over now to our planning representative, Jenny, to speak to the matter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As the committee may recall, this was at our last meeting, but we were lacking some comments from the Conservation Authority. For the benefit of everyone, I'm just going to do a quick run through of what the application involves. So this is a combined application for permission to expand an existing legal non-complying structure, as well as minor variance for the installation of a new Class 4 septic system. Currently, the existing cottage is located approximately 12.4 meters at its closest point to the high water mark. The applicant is looking to demolish the cottage, reconstruct and enlarge it, and move it further from the water to a minimum of 16.75 meters, or about 60 feet from the water. So on the screen here, you can see the red outline is the existing cottage, and the hatched gray towards the rear of it is the proposed new cottage. You may notice that part of this application involves removing a section of the existing driveway, which is this sort of a red protrusion into the proposed cottage. So they'll be shortening the driveway and excavating into a small portion of the hill, at the bottom of which will be the cottage. Currently, there is an outhouse on the property to service the cottage. Part of this application also involves the installation of a new Class 4 septic system. However, given the topography of the property and the location of the dwelling, it's not possible for that septic system to meet the 30-meter setback, and so minor variance is being requested to reduce that setback to a minimum of 17 meters or 55 feet. And that is for the leaching bed portion, and that's the yellow square shown on the screen. The increase in size of the dwelling will go up to 223.3 square meters, which does include all of the attached decks, screen porches, and other things. So that would be the total footprint for the enlarged dwelling. This was not circulated for formal review for septic, as a design was submitted by a qualified septic installer, along with the application that outlined the new system to replace the on-site privy. It was circulated for review by Mississippi Valley Conservation Authority. As noted, they had not provided their comments in sufficient time before the last meeting to accurately review them. One of the concerns that planning staff had was the excavation of the slope and making sure that there was no erosion hazard concerns. Conservation staff concurred that the slope did not constitute an erosion hazard. It wasn't high enough or steep enough, and they had no objections to the application as submitted. There have been no public comments received regarding this application to date, and planning staff are recommending approval of the application as submitted, subject to the conditions in the planning report. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Would the applicant like to make any comments or questions?
Yes, Mr. Duncan. Oh, we have two.
The agent.
Mr.
Chris Clark is the agent.
This is agent? Okay, I'll allow both to talk. Okay, if you could unmute your microphones. Your microphones have
me?
been, yep.
So this is Chris from Xander Plan. I just wanted to say that I don't have any other further comments. I think we went through everything accurately and sufficiently last meeting. So this is really just about, if there's any other comments that come from the MVCA stuff, then we can go through those. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else to add. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Do any members of the committee have any questions? Any members of the committee who are online, do you have any questions? Seeing none, then I have a motion before me that was moved by Danny Meeks and seconded by Bill Everett, that minor variance application, and there are no members of the public present, so I'm not asking for that if anyone's wondering about procedure. That minor variance application 2024-0015 Duncan for concession 6, part lot 12, Duncan Lane, Geographic Township of Bolden, be approved to permit the expansion of the existing 70 square meter, which is 753.48 square foot cottage, with a 125 square meter 1,345.49 square foot cottage. Section 5.6.2 of zoning bylaw 2011-52 requires a water body setback of 30 meters, which is the equivalent of 98.4 feet. The applicant is proposing a setback of 16.75 meters or 54.95 feet. All those in favor? And the motion is carried.
Susan, just a question. Did I hear wrong that it was 7,000 square feet or 2,300 square feet?
What we have here is that it is a total of 1,345.49 square feet.
Okay.
So it's within
Should be
the
2,403.
It should be 2,000.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, yes, total, because it is including this is the addition of the cottage.
Okay, so let's just see.
Yeah,
The
so it'd be
approved
223.3 square meters or 2,403 square feet.
2,403.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My apologies for that. All those in favor with that amendment? There we go. And the motion is carried. The Secretary Treasurer shall issue the notice of assessment in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act, including providing the notice of decision to the applicant, any person or public body that made a written request to be notified, and any other person or public body prescribed. So on the agenda, are there any applications for consent? I see none listed.
No, there is not.
And any applications for minor variance?
No, there is not.
Is there any other planning business before us tonight?
No, there is not.
Okay, then we have a motion to adjourn that everybody's been waiting for. So moved by Bill Everett, seconded by Danny Meeks, that this meeting be adjourned until 6 p.m. September 12th, 2024, virtually and in person at Oso Hall, 1107 Garrett Street, Charlotte Lake, or at the call of the chair. All those in favor? And I see those online are agreeing too. So this is carried. Thank you very much.
6:14.
And we are
I think
adjourned.
that's a record.
There we go. Well done. Thank you to folks joining us online.